Coming up on today's show, Echoes of Wisdom got a new trailer, and SEGA filed for something called Yakuza Wars. I am moist. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you like that? Yeah, girl.
It's perfect. What's good, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Good Games podcast, your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff every Friday. I am one of our hosts, Andrea Renee, joined by a very moist Britt Brombacher.
I think that's the best way you've ever introduced me. Thanks, baby.
You're welcome. It only took us 7 years to get there. And Mrs. Riana Manuel-Peña is here.
And I am dehydrated as usual.
So you're not moist?
Not at the moment.
The opposite.
I'll get there.
She's dry.
I'll get there.
Okay.
I feel you. It's been incredibly hot here in the state of California. I know there are several other places in the country also under intense heat. And just doing everything we can to stay hydrated. Drink lots of fluids, boys and girls.
Yeah. It's been hot here, too. It's been in the upper 80s and even in the 90s a few of the days. And we are not equipped for it. Although I did find out, ladies, that our air conditioner has only been operating at 50% power for the past 6 years.
What?
Why?
Uh-huh. Yeah, great.
How does that happen?
Yeah, it happens because you call out your heating and cooling company and because your thermometer went tits up and they're like, by the way, we went out there to go check your shit and your shit was wired incorrectly. So, yeah, I've been very moist unnecessarily for the past several years.
Wow.
And yeah.
So now
your
you're
shit
ready
checked.
to have full, glorious, frosty blasts from your vents.
I'm popping tires, baby, if you know what I mean. It's cold in this house. Yeah.
Well, you know, you want it cold and you want it hot in very specific moments when you want those things. So I'm glad that the wiring has been fixed for you
Thanks,
to
me
be
too.
able to achieve your ideal temperature.
Thanks, baby.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us here this week on the episode of the podcast. We'll be talking about some video game news, and I'm sure Brittany is champing at the bit because we've got both Zelda and Yakuza in the rundown for this week. It's going to be great. But before we get to that, I want to say thank you to this month's super producers, Faris Attieh, Punkdefied, and Joshua Franklin. And ladies, we have a bit of an announcement, a wee announcement, as it were. And I was thinking about, how do I kick this off? How do I say this announcement in some eloquent and,
Let's set the
intelligent
scene.
way?
We are sitting in a cozy living room. The fire is crackling. You have a nice mug of your preferred beverage in front of you. And you are facing Andrea, Riana, and I across from you on a cozy couch, similar to the one you're sitting on. Maybe there's a little table in the middle of us separating us. And we are holding your hand gently while we explain this to you.
Boys to Men should be playing for this.
Boys to Men is playing, but you're not getting horny.
The other one, the other kind.
There's a specific Boyz II Men song that comes to mind for me. That's a great scene setting. Thank you so much, Britt. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with heartfelt gratitude, yet heavy hearts, that we are announcing we have set a date for the series finale of the What's Good Games podcast. Yes, you heard that correctly. The What's Good Games podcast is getting a finale episode, a final episode, the last one. As I tell my toddler, no more. There's no more after this one. It's the last one. And that is happening on September 27th. Before you create a bunch of narratives in your head about what's happening, we just want to explain a little bit about this announcement. So we've been making this podcast for over 7 years. We are on episode 378. So sometimes I like to say, whether this is your first episode or your 378th episode, we are glad that you are here. And that is absolutely still true. But there have been a variety of factors that we have discussed over many months that have led to this decision. So this is not something that is reactive. It's not something we did spur of the moment. It's something that we've been contemplating and weighing on for quite some time and have finally arrived at the decision.
Yeah. I mean, it feels surreal to even be making this announcement and talking about it, but I think the message I would just like to convey to everybody is that this is something that we have come to the conclusion to together. It's something we feel is the right thing. That doesn't mean it's easy. It's very difficult, but we do feel comfortable and confident in this decision. And yeah, I mean, we're all kind of just processing in real time too, if you can't tell, in terms of how we feel about this and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
100%. I know we'll have many opportunities to reminisce and give our heartfelt messages in the future episodes and especially the finale. But I, for one, am glad that I was able to join along this ride in progress and add my little version of commentary and different things across the industry and different games we love. But it's been a fantastic ride. And we have a fun send-off planned.
We do.
In the near future.
We do, and it's not the end today. We will be continuing our weekly episodes from now until the finale, which again is happening at the end of September on September 27th. We'll be having some fun guests come in along the way. We'll definitely still be talking about video games, and as Riana mentioned, we're doing what we're fondly calling our send-off shenanigan shindig with the big air quotes. Had to work shenanigans in there, right? So it's one of my favorite words.
Of course.
At PAX West. We're very excited to be going back to PAX West for the first time in 5 years as a full team. And we will be doing a farewell going away party on Saturday, August 31st up in Seattle. We have some very exciting details to announce about that party coming very soon. So keep your eyes peeled to our socials and, of course, to the podcast for more details about that. But if you're in the Seattle area, we highly encourage you to come and celebrate with us and toast to the memories of everything that we've accomplished with What's Good Games and your favorite parts of who we are as a brand and what the show means to you and all of the friends you've made along the way. So again, Saturday, August 31st in Seattle at PAX West. More details about the final What's Good Games meetup will be coming soon. And, of course, more details about what's happening with Patreon and Supercast and the premium memberships and all of that. We're going to dive into that over the coming weeks. There will be FAQs, opportunities for you to ask questions and all that goodness. But until then, regularly scheduled programming is going to be happening, which we're very excited about. Still lots of stuff to discuss in the news. And as I mentioned, Britt's got the Britt Power Hour coming up. But
oh god,
before
every week,
I know you've been eating good this year, like really, like lots and lots of goodness for you. Just a couple things first. Today's show is brought to you by Shopify, and I'll tell you about that in just a little bit. But I wanted to just make an anecdote about the incredibly sad news for Game Informer being very unceremoniously shut down last week. We have several friends of ours that are actively working at Game Informer. I have many friends of mine that have worked at Game Informer over the years. I think Game Informer as an entity means a lot to many gamers out there, and just kind of like wanna, pour one out for an incredible run that they had, and was just really sad at how it ended so quickly.
It's fucking evil what they did. It's absolutely evil, and I don't know how anyone can do that. I don't care how fucking rich and successful you are, how top of the food chain you are. It's like you get up there and you lose all emotion and empathy and sympathy towards other people. And the fact that they took all the Twitter account down, they took all the work down, it pisses me off. I'm sorry,
taking the work down, yeah. It's
my
particularly
God.
egregious. Like that's literally
how dare you?
How are you supposed to? Never mind. We won't get into how upset we are.
It's frustrating because I look at the shutting down of Rooster Teeth and how sad that was on a variety of levels as well. But at least those teams got to do an offboarding process where they got to still make some content and have interaction with their fans and the viewers and have the opportunity
update their resumes
to sunset things. And the Game Informer team didn't get that, and it's just, it feels bad, man. So
how do you sleep at night? I don't get it, but yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So we obviously don't want to go out like that. Thankfully, we own our own business, independently operated by us and financed by our wonderful fans and incredible supporters and sponsors of the show over many years. So we are excited about, everything yet to come, and, encourage you, if you have immediate questions and are like, I cannot wait, contact at what'sgoodgames.com is the place where you want to send those messages, and we will do our best to get you answers in a timely fashion. But like I said, more details coming soon, and excited to, share some of the fun stuff that's coming.
Yeah, this is a celebration of life, friends, not a funeral. We just want to make that very clear. We're keeping our spirits high. We're going to make this as fun as we can. And, no crying in baseball. Is that the quote?
Yeah, I mean, It's funny because Britt and I were talking about how we've cried, I think, at every single What's Good meetup we've ever done. Like, and it's usually happy tears, being like, oh my God, I love you so much, after one too many whiskey shots was spelled wrong,
absolutely.
Britt. I'm blaming you, Britt, spelled wrong. I'm just calling you out. It's not just her fault, though. But I think, the thing that we, just kind of to put a button on that part of the conversation was, we as moms are in a very different place than we were when we started What's Good, than when Riana joined us at What's Good. We're in an industry that is going through a really rough patch right now, and we are feeling the effects of that on all fronts. And looking at what What's Good Games is as an entity is just fundamentally changed since we started. How could you not over that period of time, right? Everything changes with time. And, we, mulled it over quite a bit, being like, what would our future vision for the show be? What would it look like? And, we naturally came to the conclusion that, we had an incredible run, and it's time now to, snuff the candle and start something new. And like we said, more details on that and more explanation on things to come in the weeks to come. So on that note, we're going to take our first short break, and then when we come back, get ready for it. It's voice time, baby.
Voice time.
That's short. Yes? Yeah, you. It's probably, okay.
Hey.
All right, we'll be right back. Let's get into the news. Up first, Brittany, a new trailer about traversing Hyrule in The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Oh, yeah. So this comes from IGN. They just briefly go over the trailer itself. Some stuff I'm not going to talk about because, I don't need to rehash this. But they do mention that the trailer highlights key locations like Hyrule Castle, Castle Town, the different regions of the world like Gerudo Desert, Jabul Waters, Elden Volcano, Faron Wetlands, blah, blah, blah. So if you want to see, all of that stuff in depth, go watch the trailer. But I was much more turned on by some of the other things that we saw, ladies, from this little Echoes of Wisdom trailer that we got. It was a beefy one. It was about 5.5 minutes, I feel like. So, got a nice little look at it. So as I just mentioned, they talk in depth about the different regions and the different characters you're going to see in different races and stuff, like the Zora, whatever. But the abilities that we got to see, this looks really cool. So if you forgot, this game is coming out September 26th, and essentially people in Hyrule are being stolen away by these weird ass purpley rifts, and Link is one of those people who has gone MIA. So you are, for the first time, are Zelda, and you have to save his ass because all these men need saving. So one of the abilities that you get to see is Zelda's Bind, and this kind of acts like Ultra Hand in Tears of the Kingdom. And so what it lets you do is it lets you latch on to an item and you move it with Zelda. So for the example we saw in the trailer is there's this big ass boulder, and the whole shtick of this game is you have this thing called, I think it's the Tri-Rod. It's a rod, whatever. And it allows you to create echoes of items. And what an echo is, it's a scan of an item. And then you use all of the items you scan to play the game. So maybe you summon beds or chairs to climb up a cliff, or maybe you summon a bird for whatever reason to use these new abilities. And I'll tell you about that. So in this example, she comes across this big boulder and she's like, yo, I can't make an echo of this. It's the size of a fucking house. So what she does is she uses this skill called Bind. And so it latches onto the boulder and then it follows her movement. So if she moves right, it moves right. So you can essentially just move items this way. But then you can use it with your echo skill, which again is what I just explained, and you can do some pretty neat things with it. So with Bind, again, move a big boulder. You can literally pull a treasure chest out of the ground. At one point, she straight up drops an enemy off a cliff like a fucking murderer. It's glorious. It's freaking glorious. So that's the way you can use Bind. But then when you combine it with the Echo, you can do some pretty neat things. So for example, in the trailer, we see her summon a mole echo. So it's like a little mole and it's a little mole hole, whatever. Cool. But then she used bind to take the mole out of the hole. So now all it is like a hole. And then she grabbed an enemy with bind and she dropped it down the hole that the mole was in. And so, like, it's just kind of, I think for me, like, watching this, I'm like, okay, like, Tears of the Kingdom on paper, like, it looked relatively simple. But then once you kind of start getting into the Ultra Hand and, like, the combining of things and all the weird, wacky physics you can do, you kind of start to unravel, like, this really deep, deep system of customization and physics and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying this is going to be that, but I think, like, I'm starting to see more and more of, like, what this game's identity is and how creative you can really be with it. And I think that's really exciting because I think, again, we're going to be seeing tons months to come after this game, tons of content of people doing like weird, wacky things. So that's her bind ability. Now we got another ability called reverse bond. Why they didn't call it reverse bind, like, I don't know, Nintendo gonna Nintendo. But what you can do with this allows you to attach yourself to items and objects and creatures. So we saw this one example where she summoned this bird echo and it's like flying around, caw, caw, whatever, cool. She uses her reverse bond and then she attaches herself to it. So now she's flying around in the sky. And I mean, I'm assuming you'll use this for like puzzle solving and finding chests and stuff like that. There was a spider she attached herself to, and this spider can traverse like trees and hills and stuff. And so she just caught a ride to the spider that like carried her all throughout the level and stuff. So again, like, I love it. I don't know if any of y'all remember Scribblenauts back in the day. But I think this is giving me like slight Scribblenauts vibes, but obviously like 10x, because I think the beauty of that game was do what you want to do, how you want to do, and this is kind of like, it's reminded me of that, which makes me super duper happy. We also saw different items that she can equip, and this changes her appearance. So we saw her in her cute like traditional garb, we saw her in Gerudo clothes, but essentially they offer different perks. So there's like a frog ring, you equip that, you can jump higher. Azora's flippers lets you swim faster. So like, you know, nothing super groundbreaking there, especially if you've played the last few Zelda games, but it's still cool that it exists. And there's not cooking in this game, but there's smoothie making. So you're going to come across a Deku scrub, which is like super duper cute, but he's a business scrub in this one. So like, okay, homeboy grew up, whatever. And you can combine items you found. So the example we saw is that Zelda took an apple and she took milk, and you approach this little dude and you're like, hey, make me a smoothie. And he's like, sure. And then he makes you a mixed milky smoothie, which replenished like 13 hearts or something. So again, like, you can imagine that there's probably a lot of other puzzle elements to this, maybe something that provides heat resistance. We don't really know if like heat is going to be a thing in this game. We did see her walking through a desert and girls' cheeks were flushed, so maybe there is, who could say. Anywho, just some fun little tidbits, I would say. There's other stuff like, you know, you can summon a horse if you find a carrot, get a carrot echo. You can like, you know, summon your carrot and your horse will come by and you can mow down bitches with it. At the end, there's this really interesting scene of the trailer, and it looks like the entire world has been consumed by these rifts. And so you see Zelda hop into a portal. And my hope and dream has always been that there's going to be like a dark world element to this, like we've seen in other Zelda games. Who knows? But she jumps in there and then she disappears. And so I'm like, ooh, could that be a tease for the dark world? And I know a lot of other folks were kind of hoping the same thing. Another fun thing is that the ESRB revealed that Link is a playable character. Now, of course, it could just be in the prologue, or maybe there's some other like dark Link or dark world Link combination gaming where you have to maybe play as like one person in one world or Link maybe in another world. Who knows? Like, it's fun. I think there's still probably a lot of layers to this game that we know nothing about yet, and obviously like it comes out soon, but trailer looks super fun. I think I'm starting to get a grander vision of what this is. It's just not about playing as Zelda and summoning echoes. I think there's going to be a lot more to it, which is good because girl deserves it. So yeah, Zelda, you're doing the thing. Good job, Nintendo. That's my trailer breakdown.
I think it looks great. I think they're taking so many of the systems that they developed for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and translating them into a different format with a different character and just being very unique. And hopefully this is going to really stir the loins of the Zelda purists who maybe weren't super happy with everything that got left out, shall I say, of the previous Zelda games. I don't know.
Reed, does this do anything for you?
I know my loins are still pretty stationary, but I do enjoy that they brought in, as you said, kind of like a spiritual successor to Ultra Hand, because it's just such a revolutionary mechanic. And Tears of the Kingdom just brought us so much joy and so many like gaming moments, like so many like user generated masterpieces, like the Korok Space Program and things like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing like all of the different shenanigans people are going to get up to with it. I don't know if I'll play it myself. I can definitely see me like backseat playing, like watching other people play, probably Danny. But yeah, I don't know if this one is for me, but I really enjoy like all of the different things they're trying with it.
Yeah. Go
Nice.
Zelda. Go Link. Give me my fucking Ocarina of Time remake. Listen, our episodes are counting down. We're winding down. I gotta just be as aggressive and rude about it as I can be.
Last ditch effort.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes, you do, indeed. Well, thank you for that titillating recap
Ooh,
of that.
You are crushing it with the words today. I have just got to give you
you.
flower. Oh, I love it. Titillating.
Maybe it's just the incredible crushing fatigue coming out in very interesting ways. All right, Britt,
Possibly.
on to more moist news for you. SEGA trademarks Yakuza Wars in Japan.
Oh, God.
This could mean nothing and everything, which is what I
You know
love
me,
about
though. You know me, ladies. You give me like one little morsel, I turn it into a fucking cake. So, yeah, so this is interesting trademark, and there's a few things that are interesting about it. The first one is that it's the trademark for Yakuza and not Like a Dragon. Because you're like, you know, like they've been pushing Like a Dragon in the West now for quite some time. So it's interesting that they would trademark Yakuza, or it could just be them covering their bases like a smart business. But you know me, I got to overanalyze absolutely everything. So we do know, though, that the Amazon TV series has the word Yakuza in it. And even if you go to RGG's Twitter account, they have Like a Dragon. Actually, let me just like get this right, because I don't want to get it wrong. If you go to their Twitter account, it says RGG Studio, Like a Dragon, and Yakuza series. Okay. Now, of course, like, but the Amazon show is also called like Yakuza. I get it. But like, maybe there's something else going on here. Maybe this could be a sort of tie-in to the series coming out, which means it would have to be something that would release imminently. But then again, I guess they would have trademarked that a while ago. It doesn't matter. I'm just rambling at this point. I think that this title suggests that it would be something different. It wouldn't be, this isn't obviously the next like follow-up in the game. And I've been scouring the Reddits and having lots of conversations with lots of people. And I think there's just like two major possibilities that we've all kind of come to. One, and this one is one I don't think is the case, is Sakura Wars crossover. Now, this is a franchise that was rebooted, I think, in 2020. I dabbled in it. I never actually like played probably more than like 5 to 10 hours of it. But what I do remember is that I played as a young man. And I say young man, he's probably like in his 20s. And I flirted with hot women a lot. I do remember that. So I was like, that seems weird. Is that my only like recollection of this? And yes, it is. And so it turns out that gameplay in this series is split between adventure segments and where you explore and talk with people, and then battle segments. And there is what is called, and this is where it started ringing a bell, the live and interactive picture system, aka LIPS, during conversations where the player is presented with multiple choices to select within a time limit. So it's kind of like part dating sim, part adventure, action RPG with mechs. Like, there are mechs in this game. And as much as I think a Yakuza crossover with this would just be fucking phenomenal, like, it just doesn't seem to, like, really line up. Now, granted, I'm the one who wants to bang these men more than anything. So, of course, I would love a dating sim with my boys. But, like, it just doesn't seem like it would line up and make a lot of sense, right? So the other thing is that, could this be a play off of a mini game that was in, I know it was in Kiwami 2, and it was in Yakuza 6. Now, I haven't played these games since 2020, so it's been somehow 4 years already. But there is a mini game in both of those games, maybe more than I'm forgetting, called Clan Battles. And these are good-sized little games in there, and there's kind of like an RTS, where your goal is to wipe out the enemies in front of you. So you do this by deploying different Yakuza types, right? It's kind of like a top-down isometric view, and you have to just clear out the levels and get to the end. You have brawlers, gunners, heavies, which are like your tanks. You have rushers, which are like your rogues. And you have, you're allocated like certain units at a time. Again, if you played an RTS before, you're pretty familiar with how this works.
Sounds like Path of a Goddess, like, right?
Path of the God. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't say it. Kind of. Yes, I see from that angle. Yes, like where you're deploying certain characters and you have a certain limit that you can use, and you need to like have enough resources to deploy them. In that sense, yes. Clan Battles is a very dumbed down version of that. of that part of it. So that was a good example. But like then you have leaders and then they have special abilities and it was just something fun to do. It was never super popular. I mean, it wasn't like incredibly well received. I would say like the vast majority of people who love the series would say that's not their favorite minigame that's in there. Like, obviously, you have like the Hostess Clubs, you have the Ichiban Business Ventures, and the Like a Dragon games, and there's a bunch of other stuff you can do too. But I do remember like playing this, and I remember thinking it was like cool. It was fine. It was never anything earth shattering, and narratively, it didn't really like, keep me hooked in that way. But there was Majima in it, and it was Majima's construction, so like that got me hot and bothered. Okay. I'm derailing here. So yes, like clan battles, like a version of clan battles. Yakuza Wars seems to make the most sense for that. Could this be a tie into the movie? Could it be coming out around October when this is coming out? It seems like it might be a little soon, but like maybe. I'm also wondering, could this be a mobile title? It seems like this would be a good fit for mobile, which normally I admit, I would be like, no, but it's my favorite franchise. Of course, I'm going to be all in. You could put that fucking shit on a restaurant napkin and I would buy it. You know what I mean? I don't care where it is.
Yakuza Wars definitely sounds like a mobile game.
It does.
I know. It does, right? Okay, so I'm not alone with that. Yeah, so I think it could be something mobile. And I mean, this kind of genre I was just talking about, the RTS clan battle, seems like it would be a good fit for mobile. So if I had to bet, I would bet that. I would bet that's what it is. We do know we're getting a new game reveal at Tokyo Game Show. I don't know if this would be that game, but it's a possibility. And we do know that we are going to be surprised by what this game is. So maybe all the signs are pointing to this, right?
Interesting.
So that's where we're at, man. Yeah, like that's the trademark. And that's me taking my one little simple, like, oh, something was trademarked and fucking running with it.
No, Britt, how mad will you be at me if Yakuza Wars on mobile is my first Yakuza game?
I would never be mad at you for that, Ree. I will come and give you feet rubs while you play it. Like I move over, Danny. I don't know who you think you are. I am the husband now. I'm here to rub you and make you feel good. But no, I mean, like, listen.
I'm the husband now.
It's like I am the captain now. No, I mean, like, I would not be mad. I think anytime you could get into it. And plus, maybe then you'll just be so enthralled with the hotness that you're like, I have to play all 10 games now.
Very possible. But yeah, I think mobile will
time.
probably be an easier entry point for me, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Like, who knows? But like, I'm in no matter what. Like, that's all I know. Like I said, put that shit on a restaurant napkin and I'm buying 10 of them. Let's go.
You heard her, everybody. Put that
I'm
shit
sick.
on a restaurant napkin. Feel like we got to make that. We got to make that a thing now. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Some other fun news that I just wanted to sprinkle in. Balatro, one of my favorite dark horse picks for Game of the Year this year, has passed 2 million in sales, and they announced a free major update is due in 2025. Publisher Playstack and solo developer Local Thunk has a series of 3 announcements it's sharing across August and September in what it's calling a 3-of-a-kind surprise campaign. The first major announcement is a major gameplay update is coming in 2025 for free. And that's about all we know so far, but that's exciting because I love Balatro.
That is exciting. Gotta love some free updates.
Yeah, and it's free.
I love that.
So yeah, cool. Exciting.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the news. And then Brittany, I pulled this one just because I thought it was interesting. And I didn't know if you had seen about Larian posting about the anniversary stats for Baldur's Gate 3. Game of the Year winning. And this headline I pulled from Eurogamer because, let's be honest, it's probably clickbait, but I clicked it, so success. 197,000 Baldur's Gate 3 players banged Halsin in bear form, according to Larian.
Sick fucks. No, one of my most proud moments of life in all my 36 years of existence was being in that little room in Ghent when they were doing the live demo in front of us, and we all encouraged them to bang that bear. I mean, I'm telling you, we encouraged it. We brought this upon the world, and I do take responsibility for that because it turned into a thing. Wow. I mean, cool. Go on with your freaky ass selves, I guess. If that's what you're into. At least it's a fake bear, not a real bear, I guess. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, please
about
don't
that.
bang real bears.
No, bestiality is not good. It's bad. It's a bad thing.
Wow.
75 million companion kisses have been shared in Baldur's Gate 3, with 27 million of those landing on the lips of Shadowheart, while 15 million were planted on Asterion And at the bottom of the smoochy chart, Minthara with just
Aw.
169,937 kisses. No.
Oh.
I mean, I'd be
Wah,
pretty happy
wah.
if I got 169,000 kisses in my life. That'd be pretty impressive.
That's a lot of kisses.
That is
Yeah.
a lot of kisses. Yeah, I need to do another playthrough of this game because I'm not exactly happy with my romance option. It was Gale. And I think part of the reason was Steimer texted me because she was playing at the same time. She's like, "Who'd you romance?" And I said, "Gale." She's like, "Ew, why?" And then I felt embarrassed.
You should
Aw.
never feel embarrassed.
No, she was
for the
right. No,
person
no,
you
no.
picked.
No,
I
she's
mean,
right.
Jacob was my first pick in Mass Effect 2, and did I rectify that? Of course. I went back and played that game like 7 more times. But, it happens.
It does happen. Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, now we know we got a lot of people out there that like to kiss bears, I guess. That's neat.
Yep.
It's interesting the number of people who are down for mind flayer sex.
Wait, what? I didn't read that far ahead. Oh, wow. 407,000 people were up for Mind Flayer tentacle sex when the opportunity. Wow, I missed that. How does
Okay,
one? I feel like I have to go to Google later.
Oh no.
I mean, you will definitely be able to find what
Tentacle
you're looking
sex.
for. True story.
Bountiful.
True story. I learned about what tentacle porn was from Cards Against Humanity many, many years ago because we used to play with the rule that if you didn't know what a card was, you had to Google search it in front of everybody. And I was like, what the heck is tentacle porn? What is that? And, of course, snickers among the group. And they're like, you better Google it. And I
Oh,
am
no.
forever changed now. So if you are also curious, I am just warning you that you can't unsee the things that you will see when you Google that. So just keep that in mind. Be careful with Google.
She still has scars from that day.
I'm just saying you can't unsee it. Can't unsee it.
Interesting. Well, I never came across tentacle sex in my playthrough, so clearly I missed something, or maybe I just didn't. Okay.
Well,
Noted.
didn't you just say that there was close to 200,000 lines of dialogue? I'm sure you missed quite a few things.
Damn, I didn't know I was missing out on that. No, I have no desire to bang a mind flare. But
I was going to say, I'm sure that there is a guide on the internet to direct you to this exact experience.
yeah, I already found the video, so I'll watch it later.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm happy for you. Oh, and Scratch the dog was petted over 120 million times, officially making him the goodest boy.
Goodest boy, Scratch. Wow, this is. Oh my God, it's naked.
Okay, stop, Brittany, stop. No.
boy.
Shield your eyes. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for our headlines for this week. When we come back, we've got some video games to chat about, including Britt's time in Cat Quest 3, and someone's been spelunking in the Dungeons of Hinterberg.
This is so wrong.
Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Oh my God.
This episode of What's Good Games is brought to you by Shopify. Put 10 seconds on the clock, everybody. We're going to play a game where you can name things that are always growing. Go. Plants, my wardrobe, Rihanna's obsession with TikTok Shop, or how about Shopify being the global e-commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business? From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage, Shopify is there to help you grow. Whether you're selling funny t-shirts or maybe you're selling custom birthday hats, Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. And sell more with less thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star, free for every Shopify seller. With Shopify Magic, you can whip up captivating content that converts. From blog posts to product descriptions, you can generate instant FAQ answers or even pick the perfect time to send your emails. Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way, because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/what'sgood, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/what'sgood now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/what'sgood. let's chat about what we've been playing. And first, let's start with some spelunking in the beautiful Alps, the mountains,
You should
dungeons.
bring out your accent for that one, Andrea.
I don't. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have an accent. Really for this one. If I have
No,
an accent, it's
you
because
don't
I'm
have like
messing it up.
a German that you could pull from.
Yeah, where's your German accent, Andrea?
You know,
Come on, just
you would
bust it out.
think I would have a German accent, given that I have a lot of German lineage, but unfortunately, no, I can't do a German accent. Don't be mad.
Okay.
It's just
Fine.
the Norwegian accent that just perseveres. You know what I'm saying? It just sticks around the O's and the A's.
Perfect.
Yay!
You can't help it. The Dungeons of Hinterberg.
There it is. Okay, that's what I wanted. Thank
All
you.
right, let's talk about it. A big thank you to the team at Xbox for sending over codes for Dungeons of Hinterberg. It also is available in Xbox Game Pass, which is excellent. So this is a game we've seen several times over the last year, and every time it's been a delight. And now it's here, and you can play it too. And Riana, I would love to hear about your time with the game.
Yeah, so I of course have seen the game many times as you just said, Andrea, but this is my first time actually getting hands on. So the game technically released a couple of weeks ago, but the life has been lifing. So I just got my few hours here and there over the past weekend and have played through the first couple of dungeons. So Dungeons of Hinterberg, I'll read a little blurb here, is an action role-playing video game from Microbird Games, published by Curve Games. Games, taking place in the fictional town of Hinterberg and the Austrian Alps. The game also features elements commonly found in dungeon crawling games and social simulation games. So I'm not going to say it's a Persona, because it's not, but it does have elements of what I've seen of Persona, having not personally played through an entire Persona game myself. This is what I would maybe call like a Persona Light. So a little more approachable. The pacing is fantastic. And what I really like about this game, aside from the very charming art style and very approachable dungeon mechanics, the enemies are fairly simple. You do have some traversal and puzzle elements to each dungeon. There's lots of different characters that you meet that will give you some different power-ups and advantages, like special magical powers or talismans that you can equip depending on what you want for your next dungeon run effect to be. But more than anything, I like how straightforward it is. So when you load up the game, it does do quite a bit of hand-holding through the tutorial stages. And I played on very easy, baby ass baby mode, because I was not trying to get challenged. That's not what I was going for.
No, ma'am.
So combat, really straightforward. You have light and heavy attacks set to begin with, and that's it. Very quickly, you learn how to dodge. And then, as I said, you get these additional magical powers from a new character that you meet, which are different depending on which region you're in. So all of that combined with, again, later stage, the enemies will get a little bit more difficult. The puzzles will be a little bit more challenging. It's always going to be the same routine. You look to go into a dungeon, you equip some things, you go through, you do all the puzzles. There's a big boss at the end. You come out, and there are a few people you might want to talk to either buy some new equipment or upgrade different aspects of your character, which I'll get to in a second. And then you maybe go to the bar and hang out and like upgrade friendship points with people, and then go to sleep and then rinse and repeat the next day. So it's a very satisfying gameplay loop. And the day is broken up into morning, noon, and evening, where morning, usually you're doing some kind of prep or going straight into a dungeon if you've already prepped the day before. Noon, you might hang out in the town, meet some new people, spend some points on some stuff. And then the evening, spend the evening talking to somebody to upgrade your familiarity and friendship with them. So the way that you actually level up your character's attributes, like your health points or your magic points or your fighting power, all of that comes from your relationships with the people in this town. And you talk to them, but you only have like one person that you can really converse with for each part of the day. So it forces you to sort of make some critical decisions about what you want to focus on. And what's really cool is, yes, you get these additional skill points or attributes to your character makeup, but you also get a lot more of the story of this world. And the backstory is really, really sweet. It's actually set in like real life, like in our world, Earth 616 or whatever. but it's this little town that all of a sudden magic stuff started popping up, and then it became a tourist area because, of course, people want to start, becoming famous for going and figuring out what's going on over here, or they want to be a dungeon master, they want to figure out what this magic stuff is all about, and like stream it and become influencers. And it's just a really fun take on this sort of near earth supernatural world. And all of the people feel very real. The story is very simple, but it's delightful. And I enjoy the characters. And there's just a lot of heart in this game. And it's, like I said, I would say Persona Light, because of course they have all of these different elements of like people you need to manage relationships with and different challenges and secret things that are hidden. But it's not overwhelming. It doesn't feel like an enormous checklist. And it doesn't feel like you could possibly miss anything if you go too far down one path, which I really appreciate.
That's good. So
yeah.
you would say there's like no pressure that you can't really screw anything up.
You probably could, but I don't think it would feel like you were. I think whatever you end up doing is going to feel good, and the opportunity cost or whatever wouldn't really be that devastating.
And I don't think that there's an incentive to not move forward in positive ways, to kind of, maybe pick conversation choices or narrative choices that are considered like the bad playthrough, or
right,
the maybe not an effort to like be positive or whatever. I don't know if it's came across that way. There's just like it's not as deep as that. I think the social simulation part of the game, for me at least, is not as big of an emphasis as the actual like dungeon combat mechanics, right? Which is super fun in this game. I've really enjoyed the different styles of combat. Like the camera controls feel good. The way you use your weapon and the movement, like the kind of snowboardy like glide that she does is really fun. I'm forever always just like plagued by, balancing my like stamina bar or whatever with all of the things I want to do. But that's a me problem. But I really just like the game feels super balanced between the different gameplay components, which I think has been really great because, you get these puzzles mixed in with combat, and then you have, of course, like Riana was describing, the social element when you're back in the village, and it's just it's a joy to play. It's really fun.
Oh, I mean, it sounds pleasant as fuck. What are you playing on, Ree?
So I'm playing on Xbox because I'm moving between a couple different rooms in the house, and it's easy enough to just stream it. I actually haven't even installed it.
God, I want to play it. It looks like it could be a good treadmill game. Just like,
I think it could be a good treadmill game.
What's good for treadmill games are like, the ones where you can spend 45 minutes to an hour just completing a loop. It's like, I guess that would be my next question is how long is the general loop? Like one day?
I would say like maybe like 20-ish minutes.
Perfect.
If you're moving at a good pace.
It also is going to probably vary quite a bit depending on which difficulty level you're on and how much like exploration you do. There's not like a ton of extra exploration. A lot of the what I do appreciate in the level design from an artistic perspective is that they didn't like open certain areas visually to be like, ooh, go down that corridor over there and see what's there. Thank you for that, because otherwise I would be like wasting my time going and like running into invisible walls and things like that. So, but yeah, I think that's a good estimate.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
well, you sold me.
Add it to the list. Another lovely game available in Xbox Game Pass that hopefully people will check out. I know that sometimes these games, when they are from publishers that don't have a huge slate of bangers or whatever, that they kind of get unseen. But this was one that caught our eye at the first time we saw it at the Xbox Showcase, and it's fun, enjoyable. It's very enjoyable.
Excuse me.
Amazing. All right,
Sorry,
Brittany, it's time to talk about Kitty Quest.
Yeah, Cat Quest 3. I am just pleased as punch. I've never said that before. I've literally never said that before.
Oh, really? Wow, I'm so happy for you.
I feel really cheesy. I feel cringe. I feel icky. But I said it. Cool. I'm getting old. Anyway, yes. Cat Quest 3. So this game is out August 8th. It is developed by the Gentle Bros and published by Kepler. And so thank you very much for the review code. The MSRP, which I didn't realize this because I got a review code, is under $20. So like it's $20 on Switch. It's $18 right now on Steam. It'll never go above $20. And bless the Gentle Bros for this. I'll give them their flowers in a minute. So this game is on PC, Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Series X and S. It is Steam Deck compatible. It is 1 to 2 players, 2 players, supported by split screen co-op. It's not quite drop in, drop out, but like pretty much. I just want to give flowers again to the Gentle Bros because their entire mission is to create immersive worlds designed for pure fun and enjoyment. And goddamn, if that doesn't come across in their Cat Quest series. These games are not difficult. There is a normal mode. There is an easy mode. Jason and I played on normal mode, and I think we defeated the final boss in like 10 seconds. But it doesn't, right? But it doesn't feel easy, like cheap easy. It's like, it's fun. It's just fun to play this game. And you can get as beefy as you want or not as beefy as you want. So anyway, this game is, again, you're cat pirates. And I think I talked about this in my preview a while back, but now I've played and I finished the whole thing. So this is the description, and the cat puns in this game are just fucking perfect. Some people got sick of them. They thought they were too much. I loved them. Those writers are freaking intelligent. So,
I'm here for the cat puns. Let's go.
it is so good. So in Cat Quest 3, you play as a privateer in a freely exploring 2.5D world swarming with pirates, like little rats. You can sail the seas in your ship for treasures galore, but prepare for peril as the pirate king aims to hunt you down. And it is just the most fucking glorious, lovely, feel-good game. I am just so happy this game exists. So this is the third one. I played the second one, and that's where co-op was introduced. So obviously co-op is back in this one, like I mentioned. And I mean, all I can really say is it's like a playground. Like you start this game off and you pretty much have the entire map at your disposal right from the get-go. Some areas you're not going to be able to go to because the enemies are going to be too powerful, too overleveled for you. But every time you go to an island, there's something to do. And I believe that there are 11 islands. And you can swim there if you want in your little raft, or you have a ship this time around that you can sail and upgrade and blow up other ships as well. And it is incredibly satisfying. Sometimes every island has treasure, and some of them are hidden and some of them are just pretty much in plain sight, and every island will let you know how much treasure is on the island. And the treasure can have anything from a piece of gear like a hat or like a body piece, or it could have a weapon in there, or it could have an artifact or an accessory in there. It could have money and gems which you can use to upgrade. So you can search out all the treasure, and it just kind of like makes you feel good, and it's just really fun. Sometimes you'll find a little mini dungeon. These don't take any more than probably like 3 to 5 minutes, but again, at the end there's always a reward waiting for you. Sometimes you'll find puzzles, and there's bounty enemies to go after. And so you essentially can just sail around and do whatever you want. There is a story, obviously, and you have to locate this thing called the North Star. But I mean, this game can be finished in probably 5 to 6 hours if you want to mainline it. I think because we did probably 95% of everything, we wrapped it up in maybe 12 hours. And it was literally like a mood booster for both of us every night. We would just couch co-op and play this game and just leave feeling gleeful. Like every time we stopped playing, we're like, oh, that was so cute, warm and fuzzy. It was like chicken soup for your gamer soul. But what I love about it too is that there's a lot of, you can get as deep with this as you want. I think this would be a fantastic game for maybe like an older, like toddler, probably too much because there's too much controllers, too many different buttons and stuff and mechanics going on. But it's an older, like young kid, whatever age that is. I don't know how kids grow and develop. I only have a 3-year-old, but like it can be as simple or as in-depth as you want it to be. There is a progression system. It can get real deep. You can customize your gear if you want to feel like gods, which is what we did. So by the end, I had a set of gear from a band called Metallica, and it was.
See, I'm here for it. I'm here for the puns.
It was so good. Like the puns are just incredible. And so I had lightning spells, which is like, of course I did. Jason was a fire mage by the end of it. And then I found a really cool, like, hidden castle, and in there I also found 8-bit Dracula gear. So I was like a bloodlusty, like Paracula, I think it was his name. But like, there's the point is like, you play this game, you're gonna feel good when you walk away from it. You can upgrade your ship, your gear, your items with gems and money. You can do all of that if you would like to. There is a tower, and I'm sorry for saying this, it looks like a girthy penis, but it's kind of like it slowly descends into purgatory, and it's like waves on waves on waves, and you just try to like get as far as you can, and in doing so you get even more powerful, and you get get even better gear. So there's like other things to do than just explore the islands and like do the main story. It is just an absolute glee, and it's like $18 on Steam, $20 on Switch. Like I don't know how much more I can sell this. This is just an absolute delightful world. It's so fun to be in there. It's beautiful. I love the graphic style of it. I love the charm of it. And I'm so happy it exists. We need more games like this. So again, more flowers to the Gentle Bros. Because yeah, they have a certain goal in mind for the kind of game they're trying to make, and they just absolutely nail it.
That's wonderful. I love that for you.
I loved it so much, and I want to play it again because there's a new game plus option.
Oh,
but alas, Mom ain't got time for that. But I would if I did have the time.
Just ain't enough hours in the day.
Yeah,
too much.
Glorious little game. Too much.
It does. It looks very glorious. It looks super cute. I would love to test it out too. I'm trying not to fall fully back down my Dreamlight Valley rabbit hole, but there's a lot of content that I have missed. And I logged in to go visit my valley and to play while my daughter was watching. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's like several characters I haven't unlocked yet. And I still haven't really done a lot in the new expansion island area. A lot to do. But
yeah, you start playing Dreamlight Valley again. Yeah, you'll blink. Charlie will be 17.
My gosh, I'll just be lost redoing every portion of my valley, and then she'll be like, "Mom, my graduation's this weekend." I'll be like, "What happened?" Just like spent too many moonstones. That's the problem. This has been a lovely episode. Thank you for those previews, ladies, or I guess reviews, thoughts, impressions. That's what I mean to say here. And once again, everybody, we are very excited about some of the announcements that we have coming for you. If you have questions about anything we mentioned at the top of the show, once again, the email address is contact@whatsgoodgames.com. Send it over to us, and we will do our best to get back to you. But it's all good things must come to an end. And like this episode is at the end, everybody. More to come.
Good thing.
Stay tuned, everybody. See you next time. Bye.